All right, guys, so we're back again with another Mastermind Members project. This time around, we're in the Midlands in a place called Derby. This is a 7-bedroom HMO project. Again, this is a student who's come in, delivered a 7-bedroom HMO as their first project. We're going to see this project, it's a finished product, so you're going to get to check it out and go through the numbers and why you should go into part of the Mastermind. Obviously, you want to get part of the Mastermind group. There is a link in the description for you to reach out myself, the team, to be able to work with us. But guys, let's go inside and check out the project. So like I said, we are in Derby. This is one of my mastermind members, Sophie. Sophie, could you have a quick introduction to yourself, background, and then we'll go from there.
So I'm from Nottingham, so Derby's not too far away as an investment area for me. I have trained for my part one of being an architectural assistant. So I currently work in Nottingham, that's my full-time job, and I invest on the side, trying to get out of the 9 till 5,
Well,
like everybody else.
I guess talking about that, what made you want to get into property and more specifically HMO as a strategy?
So I do actually have 2 buy-to-let properties. They're North Nottinghamshire area, but the numbers are struggling to stack on that kind of deal now. Obviously HMOs are a little bit bigger, you've got more income. The difference between what your outgoings and your incomings are significantly better. And I think I don't need as many HMOs to be financially free as I would buy-to-lets. Because I think I'd probably need about 40 buy-to-lets.
Good.
I'm moving up.
Good. And I guess going into HMOs, what made you want to get educated and rather than try and guess your way? I know you've done buy-to-lets before, but what made you feel like, oh, let's be part of a mastermind group, learn about HMO investing?
I think a lot of it is kind of motivation. I didn't know anybody else who was in property. I was just kind of navigating it myself. Buy-to-lets are quite simple, very straightforward. There's a lot more legals with HMOs, a lot more stuff that you need to know. And I think also I've got a lot of contacts through the group as well. So other people who have kind of tested and tried different things. Obviously a build team, which has also been very handy. Solicitors who actually know what they're doing and know the process and they can get me through it without any drama. I think it's been quite good. But I think, honestly, just as I said, like the motivation of having a group, having support, having someone who's done it before a lot, who knows what they're doing.
No, good.
It's a bit of peace of mind.
No, good. I hope people see it that way, right? So that's good.
Yeah.
So I guess, talk about this project, obviously being a 7-bedroom HMO. How did you come across this project? Obviously walk through and kind of show us the project in a sec, but like just, I guess, how did you come across this project and what were the numbers initially to start with?
So I just found this property on Zoopla. I was just scrolling in the city centre area. It was a big 5-bed social housing property already. So the rooms were kind of big enough. They fitted all the regulations in Derby. It ticked a lot of boxes. Obviously got a really big kitchen, which is quite handy. The outside space ticked all the boxes as well. 10 minutes from the train station. It just worked.
I just drove in and I think bang on city centre location pretty much. So it's a good spot to be in for sure. And a very sizable house as well. I know we haven't been around it yet, but you guys will get to see in a minute. So I guess obviously going into your first HMO quote unquote project, or I say quote unquote, it is your first HMO project. What gave you the confidence to kind of go through the trouble of going through planning and get a 7-bedroom HMO on this property?
So this road in particular has a lot of houses that are converted into either flats or HMOs already. So I was pretty confident in the planning. There's been dormer conversions, loft conversions, so I was pretty confident that I would get that as well. I'd say it was a 5-bed, so put in 2 bedrooms upstairs. We definitely had the loft space. The ceiling height was always there. So I didn't really have any doubts, to be honest. I was pretty confident, just went for it.
Cool. And I guess your background aiding you, like being an architect to a certain extent, obviously I guess you understand this stuff a bit more.
I'm understanding spatial requirements and sizes and like what is actually needed for certain things. So I think it does help a lot.
All right, good. Well, I think good point for us to potentially start walking around and I guess show us the project and show us how it's turned out. So obviously we are in the first room of the house. I guess talk us through decision making of like having kitchenettes and obviously got ensuite in here. So I guess just talk us through the room.
So the market in Derby is kind of pushing towards kitchenettes. I spoke to a couple of letting agents and they said that that's preferred for people at the moment. So I just thought I'd make sure I put those in, kind of like a bed sit situation. Obviously got a combi microwave and a fridge freezer and your own little sink. And then we've even managed, because the rooms are so big, to put en suites in every single room.
Yeah.
Which I think is a massive selling point.
Okay.
Which are quite nice.
And one thing obviously I noticed with these rooms, you've got the intercom system in there, and I think for me that's one thing I missed a trick on that in terms of putting intercoms in my rooms, because obviously being a HMO property, it definitely is easier when you have the intercom set up for each room. People can just dial into each room and call whichever room they're looking for.
It's handy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got a fridge freezer, and I think some people might argue this is a bit of overkill in terms of like spending the money to get a fridge freezer for each room, microwave. But I'm aligned, obviously we're both aligned in terms of like spending the money to kind of get higher rents and provide better accommodation for your tenants. So
it's just a little bit more self-contained, which I think is quite nice.
Yeah, I think so.
And people can't steal your food.
And that's the main thing.
Which is good.
With HMOs, you want to prevent any issues that could happen within the house. So whereby covered spaces in the room, you can store your food and stuff in here. No one's going to rob your stuff out of the fridge. You can just put it in freezer stuff. You can put it in here as well.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to come back and no one's going to take your milk or
I
whatever.
want to eliminate reasons for people to leave. I think that is what I was looking at. So like things like this, like your own ensuite. We've got Wi-Fi points, so you can plug your computer directly into the wall, and it's like fast speed Wi-Fi. Just all little things like that. I think I would want.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm providing.
And obviously you put a TV in the room as well, which is obviously a plus as well.
Yeah, TV, fully furnished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a walk around the other rooms.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Cool. All right, I'll let you talk.
You can probably see that there's different colour kitchen in this room. I just thought I'd mix it up a little bit. We had blue in the last one. 3 are blue, 3 are this kind of more neutral colour. Just to give a little bit more variation. I didn't want a copy and paste situation. It's got a little bit more personality in a different room.
Yeah, but more importantly, in terms of like actual layout, pretty much a mirror of next door.
Yeah.
So kind of keeping the design complexity simple on that one. All right, so before we head upstairs, just quickly, I guess, I know we've been in the kitchen already, but let's check outside. I know you put a dormer up on this. Just on the subject of getting the planning gain and stuff, how smooth was that to kind of get the dormer approval?
Pretty easy. The only thing that they said was we had to come in from the side of the house 1.75 metres.
Yeah.
Just to give a little bit of breathing space, I think, because the chimneys are quite wide.
Yeah. And I think this is another area that some people have kind of going full width of the dormer and then getting told to downsize this. And I guess in terms of duration of the entire project, how long has it been since you guys started? How long has it been to complete on the 7-bed?
Build time was 14 weeks.
That's very quick.
We're up to 16 with just bits of snagging now. I just keep coming in and seeing things, and but yeah, 14 weeks and they were out.
Amazing.
Very quick.
Yeah, that is. And was this already paved like this?
Yeah, it's just I think it's just stamped concrete. It's not actual slabs, which is
really?
very low maintenance. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Well, no, nice. All right, let's head back inside, and I guess we'll head upstairs to the other rooms on the first floor. So this is the third room in the property. So it's quite a large one compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
This is quite nice. I like this.
It's a good sized room. This initially had a corridor coming down here, and then there's a bathroom, an office, and a bedroom at the end.
Yeah.
But we've just knocked it all through into one bigger, nicer room.
Yeah, no, it's looking neat. But yeah, this is definitely a good room, good sized room as well. Yeah. Cool. So kitchenettes in this one. So pretty much kitchenettes in all the rooms, or how many?
6 out of 7.
Okay.
There's just one at the top with a sloping ceiling, which didn't quite meet the floor space
because
of the 1.5 metre cut off.
Yeah.
For your roof height, but
yeah,
it's still a big room up there.
No.
But you'll see that.
Good. So in terms of rents, obviously this being the large room, and I know the 2 smaller ones downstairs, what kind of rents are you kind of hoping to achieve?
So bigger rooms, they've said about 750.
Yeah.
That's what they're pushed for, and then the smaller rooms about 725 to start with, and if they're still not quite getting, we'll just drop it a little
700. Bit. Cool. 700, 750, kind of the range. Yeah. All right. Cool. Expecting this layout walking into this room, but it's actually a good layout as well.
It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, nice.
To start with, I was not sure.
No,
but it's quite nice 'cause everything's separated.
it's a good layout as well.
Yeah.
Because I was like, is it going to end here? But on this dip in the back definitely adds to it.
Yeah.
So I guess, obviously coming into this room, I don't know, what was the original layout of this? Was it?
So initially there was a wall here.
Yeah,
and
I had a feeling
that was a bathroom which you
Okay.
entered from the other side, and this was just a room as it was all together.
Okay.
Obviously put an ensuite in, kitchen again.
Yeah.
And
No, definitely good use of space.
so
I like this.
on this level we have dropped the ceilings to allow for a little bit more headspace in the dormer, but still really tall ceilings.
Yeah, so just I guess on the subject of that, right? Obviously HMOs sometimes have been the benefit of having these older houses.
Yeah.
They have a lot higher ceilings, so where you need to drop ceilings, it shouldn't really matter. You still should be able to meet the minimum standard requirement for ceiling height for usable space.
Yeah. They're definitely
you
over
argue this
2.2.
you know what I mean? It's still huge head height above you. All right, cool.
Yeah.
And let's head to the next
biggest room.
Oh wow. Oh wow. All right, so obviously this is the largest room in the property.
This is the largest one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always a debate like,
could I have split it? Could I have?
Yeah,
not?
I think you made the right decision with keeping it this large. Because someone could argue I would split this, but I think trying to cram too many rooms in the house sometimes just.
I wouldn't have been able to put a kitchenette in them.
Yeah.
And one of them wouldn't have had an ensuite.
Yeah,
So
I think
wall was originally
I'm
here.
pro having a larger room because I just believe longevity of having these rooms. You want larger rooms. You want more space
Especially if we're working from home and stuff.
Exactly.
I think.
So I think the right move was made on this one. But it's
just
very
nice.
generous.
It's
You
just
definitely.
nice.
I'd like to think you're going to get an 800s region of this.
Well, she said 750 again. But
I think I would push. It's because if someone comes out at 750, that's 750. Then this is 750.
the
I'm
same.
taking this. You know what I mean? And obviously, I think that's where they got to
yeah.
kind of say, well, if you want this room, it's going to be £800.
Yeah, and it's
for
a
the
bigger ensuite in this one as well. I don't know if that changes anything.
Well, again, yeah.
So it's a little bit bigger.
I'm sure a woman will appreciate the larger ensuite. The guys are obviously usually okay with the smaller ensuite, but women can get a bit funny with the
Space for
being,
products.
Yeah, but no, it's still a good setup. Cool.
Yeah, feels more like a flat. This space.
All right.
Two rooms. Yep. One's with a kitchen, one without a kitchen.
Okay, another sizable room as well. These are all like 10 meter squares plus, yeah. So these are all good.
Yeah.
So we're currently stood in a dormer.
In the dormer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It still feels like a normal room.
Yeah,
doesn't it? With the height and everything. Probably the most cramped, smallest room. But
I think it still serves its purpose,
cozy.
right? Yeah, I think it still serves its purpose. I think. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's even cramped. I've seen more cramped. Trust me, there's more cramped rooms.
I think it just compared to the others, it
Compared to
feels
others,
quite small. Yeah.
But I think some people might like the fact that they're on the top floor and away from everybody. So
and it's
like,
quiet,
yeah, and they got a bit of a view as well. So they
very
might
green
appreciate
outside.
this room. A lot of rooms are very desirable because of the fact that it's kind of away from everything else.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then a decent ensuite as well being offered here as well.
Yeah.
So it's all looking good. Amazing.
Region.
And the final room. Oh, I see what you mean.
It feels bigger than it probably is. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Velox, obviously having the Velox, helps for sure. But I see what you mean. Yeah,
because the cut off is technically about here.
You can't put anything in there. So
the usable
and obviously
space.
the ensuite.
Yeah.
It's in the
Full
space.
size.
And so that's good. This is actually a decent size as well. Ensuite setup. If he was really trying to cramp, he could have decided to put something here. If he really wanted to, I think that's just yeah. And then,
I was pushing it.
Yeah, I think he made the right decision in this one. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's still space downstairs for him to get to.
Yeah, I thought because the communal area was big enough.
Yeah,
it's all right. Missing one.
Okay, cool. So obviously, let's talk numbers. So obviously, most people are probably watching, if you're up to this point, watching to find out what the numbers are. So I guess obviously I know you find the property on Rightmove and stuff, but how did you go about actually getting the deal? Because I think with this deal, there's kind of a price point, then deduction. So
Yeah,
like, let's
it was
talk
back
through.
and forth.
Yeah.
So it was on the market for 290.
Yeah.
And I came to the owners. I was like, okay, well, I'll either buy it for 290, but I want to wait for planning.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty confident I was going to get it anyway. And
Yeah.
that the numbers were going to stack. She was like, I don't really want to wait. Like, I want to get it. She wanted it sold within that tax year.
Yeah.
So I think we were in November at this point.
Yeah.
So obviously April. And I was like, okay, well, what about 265? And I'll buy it off you now.
Yeah.
We'll get it all sorted. Because I was still, again, confident with the planning. Thought there's no reason I can't buy this property now.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, okay, 265. So got it below market value. Think build costs were 175.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting an end valuation of about 510, 520.
Okay. But just
hopefully.
rerunning that. So I remember, what did you initially offer on the property?
290.
And then
to wait for planning.
But then there's a valuation that came back, which then had a price.
Oh yeah, because I got it. I got it valued. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So just talk us
And
through
that
that.
came
So
at 265.
yeah, and then you went back and renegotiated.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was like, I don't want to pay. Well, I don't know. What was their view on initially dropping down from what you initially offered based on the valuation coming back?
What was my view?
Her view.
Her view.
'Cause
Well, she was like, yeah, I just want to get it sold now because
Yeah.
her timeline for getting it sold was closing in to get it all sorted for her tax year.
Yeah.
So I think she was just happy to
So
have someone who could actually just move on and buy it.
complete the purchase.
Yeah.
So you went down from 290 down to 265,
Mhm.
subject to planning gain, or was it just buying it straight?
No, just buying
it straight, and
yeah.
then you obviously later on, well, I think a month into the project,
Yeah.
you got planning. So
Planning actually came through the week I got the key.
okay.
So it lined up actually really well for me.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Because I had a couple of issues with the bridge, trying to get that all across.
Yeah.
So it was delayed a little bit, but it did work out for me in the end.
On the subject, obviously funding the deal, everyone's probably the biggest hurdle is like the money side of things, right? How do you get the money to get into these type of deals? So I guess let's talk about the money you raised. Let's break it down the numbers and how much money you actually had to put into this deal and what did that look like as a breakdown?
Put in, I think it's about 110k in total, which I raised from family, which I was quite fortunate to be able to do, and then the rest of it was supplemented by the bridge.
Yeah.
And then after that, obviously the refurb. So that was just to buy it. The refurb, obviously 175. That was also raised from friends and family too.
Okay. So you raised 110 towards a purchase, and then you funded the refurb. So you didn't go down getting development finance for.
No, because I managed to get it.
Yeah. And I think obviously, I guess to kind of put more context around that, the reason being you hadn't had the planning, and the lenders wouldn't lend until the planning came in. Yeah. And you wanted to also go with the best case, which you were confident you're going to get anyway, which you technically did on no week of completion. So it worked out in the end. So you went and privately raised the refurb amount as well, and just did that without having to deal with the bridge. So you only bought the house on the bridge basically. Yes. And then refurbed it with the investor finance raise.
It's also better because interest rates for my family are much lower.
Lower than if you were to do it with the bridging company. So kudos to you, obviously raising the money and getting into this type of deal. So I guess next steps for yourself. Obviously, you currently got the valuation coming in. So tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yeah, fingers crossed. So just remind me on the end valuation on that.
I'm hoping to get 510 or 520.
Okay. On the initial entry, did the valuer not comment on both the front end and back end? Because we were buying a bridge only.
No.
They only just commented on just the front end, what it would be.
Yeah.
All right. But we're confident based on people, other investors.
People around Derby.
who have, so we're confident that should come in as well. Fingers crossed. Nothing's ever promised until it's written in paper, right? So
no, with the
hopefully,
market,
to be fair, I think you might get even a larger valuation than you might because of the size of the rooms. Yeah, I've been to Derby before. I've seen a few projects in Derby, so I know I'm comparing to what I've seen in the past and what rents, what valuations.
Don't give me hope though.
Hopefully, I think you're definitely the 500 plus region for sure.
Amazing.
For a 7-bed in Derby, so.
Yeah. Well, all my other estimates have stacked up so far, so should be on the right lines.
Good, amazing. And then what's the next steps for yourself? Like, is looking to do. I know Derby's becoming after 4. So what's kind of the
Derby,
plan?
there's just nothing in Derby at the minute. Everything's
Really?
like a 2-bed, you know, those houses where you walk into the lounge and they're
Yeah.
like this wide.
I've seen some investors kind of
So-
do this kind of projects, but they've kind of taken out the brickwork and kind of the all the joists and stuff will come out, and just literally gut the whole entire house and start again and kind of build like a 5-bed in there. But
Yeah.
again, those are very small compared to the size house. But I know as well at the beginning, this lady that you bought the house from had a portfolio of properties. So what's her?
She actually owns the one next door.
Yeah,
And she did say to me when I bought this that she was hoping to sell her 5 properties once a year.
yeah,
Once a year, every tax year.
yeah.
So I have pushed a note through her door, have emailed her. I'm yet to hear a response, but
Fingers
hopefully we can do something. And
I would like to think woman to woman, she's
Do the
transferring.
same thing.
She's going to transfer the portfolio to you and just kind of allow you to just, but once a year buy one from her.
I hope
That's
so,
that's
because they're all social housing, so they are kind of set up HMO style,
yes.
which means obviously they're all big enough, they're all
Yeah.
fitting regulational rent.
Yeah.
So
No, amazing.
it's
Well,
exciting.
congrats to
Hopefully.
you getting this far. And fingers crossed valuation comes in and you get what you want as well.
We'll
All right.
see.
So, guys, it's been amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Obviously, Sophie's coming to the mastermind, done amazing. With that being her first project. Some might argue 7-bed is a bit of a on the extreme end, but you've done well and made it happen.
Go
And
hard.
didn't take no for an answer. So, guys, obviously, if you're interested in being part of the mastermind community, I've left a link in the description for you to be able to reach out to myself or the team and see if you'd be a good fit as well. So, guys,
It's worth it.
thank you. But yeah, guys, that's it from us, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.